Part 8. The Silence Between. October 28th, 1889. London. The city had changed. Holloway didn't notice it all at once, but in fragments, reflections that blinked when no one moved, strangers mouthing words she couldn't hear, windows fogged from the inside on dry days. The gaslights flickered to rhythms no wind could explain. It wasn't madness, it was music. A rhythm building beneath the stone and soot. She no longer walked with certainty, but with compulsion. The voice had left something in her, a seed, a resonance. She wasn't dreaming anymore. She was remembering as if someone else's past were bleeding into her own. Every sound in the city had a twin in silence. Every scream had a hum behind it. Every death, an echo. Scotland Yard, 10:12 a.m. There are symbols appearing on walls, Hensley said, pacing her office with a furrowed brow and ink-stained hands. Chalk, soot, even blood. Some from the gospel, others we don't recognise. He dropped a folder onto her desk. Inside were photographs, dozens of them, walls of tenement buildings, alleyways, churches, bridges, each marked with the same rough glyph, a jagged circle cracked down the centre, like a mouth split open. "The city's a page now," he whispered. "Someone's writing something." "No," Holloway replied. "They're translating it." She tapped the cracked mouth symbol. "The voice is trying to speak. These are the syllables. St. Giles Asylum. Later that afternoon." She visited the one man who might understand. Simon Vale, once a composer for the Royal Theatre, now a ghost of himself, 20 years in a locked ward, mute, unmoving. They said he went mad after hearing a song without notes. The doctors had given up long ago, but when Holloway stepped into his room, he looked up, eyes met hers. Then his hand trembled, and slowly, painfully, he pointed to the wall. There, scratched in charcoal, was the same cracked circle symbol, and beneath it, 2 words. "Sing me." She leaned close. "Simon, is it real?" He mouthed something. She couldn't hear it, but she felt it. The silence begins. That night, Holloway dreamed again. No fog, no music, only silence, vast and infinite. She stood alone in a chapel that didn't exist, lit by flame that didn't burn. The pews were filled with people whose faces blurred and dissolved like melting wax. At the altar stood a figure in red robes, not the killer, not the voice, but the conductor. "You gave it shape," he said, though his mouth did not move. "Now you must give it breath." He handed her a small music box. She opened it. Instead of music, it released a sigh, a long exhale that filled the chapel, the city, her lungs. She screamed, and woke with the sound still on her lips. October 29th, 1889. London's East End. The walls now sang, not in notes, but in pressure, in vibration. Holloway found herself back where it had begun, the alley where the first victim had lain weeks ago. But it wasn't an alley anymore. Not exactly. The air shimmered, the ground pulsed, and someone had carved a doorway into the bricks, so precise it looked like it belonged. She stepped through. The chamber of echoes. It had no roof, no light, no geography. Just a platform of black stone suspended in nothingness. At the centre was the phonograph from the Abbey, waiting. Around it stood 5 figures in masks, gold, white, red, black, and the mirrored mask. She reached for her pistol, but it was no longer there. The gold mask stepped forward. "The voice is ready. We only need the key. Speak." Holloway stared into the mirror mask, saw herself, and whispered, "I see you." The city screams. At that moment, all of London froze. Every flame flickered out, every bell stopped, every breath caught, and then, from every crack in every wall, a scream tore through the fog. One voice, 10,000 throats, a sound with no origin, no destination, only presence.